Good evening. Welcome to the Monday, June 22nd of 2026 public meeting of the Kingston City Land Bank's Board of Directors. My name is Mike. I serve as the meeting's moderator. We do ask that members of the public limit their comments to no more than 2 minutes per speaker. And with that, I turn the meeting over to our board chair, Mr. Aaron Chilwich.
Hello, everyone. We'll start with the roll call. Same the quorum. I am Aaron. I'm a board member.
Joanna Dorman, board member. Sarah Delorto, board member.
And on Zoom,
Rebecca Holderness, board member.
Paul Hines, board member.
Wonderful. And with that, I will entertain a motion to approve the agenda and accept the prior meeting minutes as uploaded to YouTube.
Motion to approve the prior meeting agenda.
The current meeting agenda,
Current meeting
prior meeting minutes.
Prior meeting minutes as uploaded to YouTube.
Joanne,
I second that.
any comments or discussion? All in favor? Approved. So announcements, first happy World Cup month to everybody who's out. I'm sorry with all this. I'm sorry for missing the France Iraq games. France is up 1-0, that's a check. Very relatively few updates for this month. I think we'll have more next month on kind of disposition and pipeline. But I think we have some discussion about the audit and about kind of landscaping and the kind of new home sites, which is great. I think we'll discuss kind of our typical August recess, whether it makes sense to do it this year, which is we've done in prior years. And I don't think there's too much else for today. So with that, Mike, back to you. Oh, public comments. See no members of the public. We will pass along public comments committee, and Mike, it's all yours.
Thank you, sir. Good evening, everyone. I will lead off with our pipeline, which changes month to month by a couple of units here and there. It does. It's like a soap opera. If you watch it over time, you come back, it's different. So right now it's 47. The one that I never forget to mention is from all the way back in 2023, but now there's some updated detail around it. So resolution 66 was for 24 Belmont, which is a vacant lot full of debris and boats and things like that. We had been looking at it potentially as a new home, HDEV development, which we still are looking at. However, we're having a very exciting meeting this Thursday around a larger portfolio of opportunities. So tacitly kind of agreed with the city to revisit that property in the context of like our whole universe of options. More to come next month, but I'll keep it on the list because I know you're all very excited to hear about updates to that. Moving on, Article 19A. So I coincidentally was in the room. This is resolution number 82 of June of 2026. The Common Council passed a resolution authorizing the purchase 12 Court Street, 34 Boulevard, and 54 Winter. So that is moving forward. We accepted the offer on April 27th, and we have until September 2nd, 2026 to acquire. This is 90 days after agreeing to do so. I anticipate that Kyle and I will be working hard to release RFPs for stabilization and clean out around the acquisition date of those properties. And there will also be a little bit of a public outreach campaign to say what we are doing and what we're not doing and what we can't do, and not to get into the weeds, but talk to the neighbors and things like that, because we will be able to do the stabilization and clean out. If we have the funding for that, we will not be able to do the development for some period of time.
Yeah.
But 3 more homes in the pipeline. Article 11 is the big one this month. We are having a meeting on Thursday with Novo in Kingston, and with the city of Kingston. This is to discuss the full universe of Article 11 properties, which is currently including 43 total properties. The city has expressed some interest, which they have under the disposition policy, to take them out of the dispo policy if the city will use them. That's for 2 properties. 1 property is currently, and we need to do investigation on all of these properties, so this is all very preliminary, but there are at least 3 taken off the table. The third one is a 2-unit rental that's currently occupied. So I would strongly recommend we not consider pivoting into that space. Of the other 2, of the other categories of properties in the full universe, 23 of them are 1 or 2 family homes in the city of Kingston. Of those, 15 are 1 or 2 family homes in what I would call Midtown. So that's good going into the Thursday meeting. We had a great presentation. Thank you, Kyle, for helping me with the presentation and all the data points and amazing sort of crunching of a lot of data. And 9 of the properties are vacant, developable at this point. We don't know for sure, but they look like flat land. It's either 25 feet or 50 feet wide by 100 feet deep.
Well,
So 9 parcels fit that bill. There's much more investigation to do around this. We really,
I mean, just if we look at where the vacant sites is.
I can show you a map. Yes, I can show you a map and everything. They're spread out pretty much. There's not really a geographic concentration, although Kingston's fairly small as a whole, but happy to show you the maps.
That's a couple of the.
Yeah, please.
The two family occupied that the city's taking off the table, which makes sense that we're not.
I think we're just rejecting.
Yeah. Have they thought about kind of what, I'm just curious if they figure out a preservation pipeline for those kinds of properties, if they know what they're gonna do with something
I've
like
heard
that.
no next steps on that.
I'll just add that one of the big insignificant homes is, I mean, 3 doors down from me.
I'm waiting until my entire block shows up. My whole block may show up. So that's a very exciting meeting, more to come on that. Not really clear what the curvature of the meeting could look like, but my hope is to have a couple things out of that meeting. One is next meeting, which sounds really boring, but when are we meeting next to discuss what we discovered in here? Should we be moving forward with our budget, which we discussed in finance today, and then try to make the case that it's so important to us to add some Article 11 properties to these 19A properties that we're about to acquire because we don't know how to get title insurance on 19A. And the only precedent that we're aware of is someone bundling a lot of Article 11 properties with a 19A property and just sort of worked together. That was in Newburgh several months ago. That's the only. I think that's how it happened. It was 9 properties, Article 11 and 1 Article 19A. Maybe it slipped by an underwriter, but I don't think so. I think they just sort of said,
This is lower.
yeah, exactly.
Like the text, not the title.
Exactly. Yeah. So those are the 3 things I hope to take out of that meeting. I will let everyone know. Yeah.
I have a really strange speculative question that I've never did. The answer to this is probably a ridiculous question, but could Novo and Kingston write us a title insurance policy?
There's so many, I don't know.
Yeah.
There's so-
Yeah.
But like, there's so many different ways to think about this. If you take money out of the equation,
Yeah.
I mean, like, yeah,
Sure.
I think they could stand in place of providing
Real-
something legally identical to title insurance.
By saying we'll backstop title, basically. Yeah.
Something on a piece of paper,
Yeah.
but yeah. Anything that you can think of is.
I don't do this again. I would want it to be actual title insurance, so we don't want to sell a property to an owner and have them say, this isn't really title insurance, but kind of funny like title insurance, but we don't really know what it is, documented, it's signed by somebody.
But it might, 2 years later, the law says for Article 11 properties that you can get,
That's
that there are no valid claims to prior title. So it's like a little bit of a nuance there, but it means no one can step forward and make a valid claim against title 2 years
I
after.
mean, for the 19A ones.
19A ones.
Yeah, that's wild card.
If all I do is text you a picture of Charlie Brown and Lucy in the football, you know what happened. It won't be the first time, but I'm really hopeful that this is gonna be.
This time, we did.
This.
We're gonna do the next time.
Is that what Charlie Brown said? Oh my God. Oh my God. Okay, last category, good news. The New York State budget passed and there's $50 million in LBI funding in it. Hooray. So that's great. The other update on non-coms driven funding would be that our LBI 2023.
To that, it wasn't the case originally, in early versions of the budget.
I'd love to know.
It was because of advocacy from the lending commission.
That's great.
From the Land Bank Association.
That's great.
That's right.
That's amazing. I will let folks know because that's a big part of it. The Land Bank Association is like pretty scrappy as a group, but we all sort of focus around initiatives like this. So different Land Bank Association members were getting letters of support. We got a letter, you may recall, from the Common Council passing like all those little pieces in the puzzle. They do help so that people don't forget. It's a small rounding error in the overall budget. So good job, Land Bank Association. So in my other category, I'm sure you've all read this closely, but if you did not on your board package, the City of Kingston's ARPA report detailing the Kingston City Land Bank's $1.25 million, the largest direct benefit and second largest grant of all in the entire report. Largest was for the Henry Streetscape, which is $1.72 million. That is in there. So congrats. That was awesome. Thank you. Thank you, Stacy. Thank you, Kyle. Thank you, board, for trusting us to see that through. It's a really good example of direct benefit that's like larger than anything else on the entire ARPA grant. It's great. Also, you may want to read The Deconstruction Economy and ask Kyle what that means and why he's in it. Kyle participated. Kyle, would you like to say anything about the deconstruction economy?
Yeah, it's a report some Cornell undergrads were doing a project on kind of intentional demolition or deconstruction, taking parts from buildings and looking to reuse them more intentionally, kind of more sustainably. They interviewed me a little bit about, how we approach that as a land bank. Told them a little bit about, our historic preservation and things that we try to, you know, preserve and emphasize in the projects we do. And then, we weren't exactly the target demographic for what they were looking for. I think they were looking for people doing kind of larger scale demolitions, but still interesting to talk to these people. And yeah, we can provide the report if you're curious. Oh, sorry. Yeah, it's in there.
I'm on it now.
Oh, it's in there. Posterity, it's in the board package.
Page 26 of the board package.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kyle. It's really interesting.
And the last thing I would add is that just for awareness, I may be in this room with the Finance Committee of the City of Kingston talking about a potential tax abatement that would benefit our development pipeline either early July or maybe August. So I would have an update at the next board meeting if it happened in July. It's also coincidentally in front of Ulster County for a public hearing on the 14th of July. So it's the same tax abatement, but there would be a reduction in taxes from the county, which is a somewhat of a portion of it. I don't think it's gone in front of the school and then the City of Kingston. So it's kind of like cobbling together this thing that could help us. But just in case you watch all these YouTube videos, which no one ever does, that might be. But those are my updates. Thank you.
Thank you. Good. It's support. I think with that, with the committee updates, obviously ADC this month, it's just updates on the existing projects. And so Kyle, I'll hand it off to you to do what you do. New home.
Thanks, Aaron. I'm going to share my screen, which has a somewhat newer updated requisition status report than what's in the board package. Sorry, sec. Okay. Yeah, so we are in process of submitting these two requisitions, 9 and 10, for LBI and home. Just to reiterate, we have two funding sources on this project. Home is covering most of the construction hard cost of the actual modular unit. LBI is much of the work outside of that. So we have a pretty big requisition coming up, hoping to get that filled in as soon as possible and returned. Making good progress on the overall project. We're about 40% drawn down in total, but rapidly spending through that as we wrap up the work on the modular projects. So yeah, happy to answer any questions anyone has, but just high level overview for your review.
Well, I'm curious because Teller's been set and what kind of work? I mean, it's not exactly somewhere between finance and construction, but what kind of work is ongoing there at this point? What are they actually?
I'd be curious to know the percentage left, Kyle, if you have to spend on Teller. Sorry to throw you off if that does, but I can talk about construction in the
It
background.
looks 63%, 44%.
Yeah.
I need my
64%.
Yeah, there it is.
Yeah. There might have more specifics on like the actual status at the site, but a big portion of that is also developer proceeds, which and things that come out at the sale. So
Oh, because it's budgeted.
Yeah.
It's budgeted
Yeah.
across
Right.
all those things.
Right.
Okay,
Yeah.
Gotcha.
yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. So
I could cross into construction
Yeah, please.
updates. So Fred had noted this morning that he felt like it was almost done.
oh
On
wow.
Teller, the only requirement is to hook up electricity, which I think you need for single family homes. So we have to move a pole. Central Hudson has to move a pole, and they haven't yet given a date for that, and they're being a little whatever. But it's not a burning fire to get electric to that building, although we certainly want it as soon as possible. The building, I should have run over and taken a photo. We have some updates maybe on social media. Sorry,
That's the deck.
I need to go over and take a photo. I think it is. I know that the walkway was poured about 2 weeks ago, so I assume they just built deck on top of that. But I will run over there, just put it out the post and take a picture this week. Other construction updates, the construction for the foundations of Hanratty and Murray will start in earnest this week. So the helical piles are being delivered this week. Got these big screws that go into the ground and you can drop your foundation on top. So those are being delivered this week from Long Island. You should see a lot of activity this week. You should see a lot of expenses coming in based on change orders that we approved and the budget overall. I will be out there watching as they pour the foundations. I'm really happy about that. And we will be back on track. The schedule, there's no change to the construction schedule. We're still expecting to have them October 1st would be the delivery date for those homes. And I think those are my updates on construction that we have right now.
So given all this, kind of like, we're going to like backing into kind of a potential, and obviously the landscape built at this potential kind of marketing period.
Yeah.
What are you, like, where are you guys thinking sometime into the fall, winter?
Not sure yet, because we have, and there's some updates. I don't want to steal anyone else's.
Yeah, we'll come back to the topic.
The things that will take place outside of construction on the sites, but seeing how that goes on the first home, which is Teller, and then planning for it on Hanratty and Murray and putting some dates around that. I think we'd like to have the landscaping set, planted before we offer the homes. Someone in the business might agree that
Yeah.
it would look a lot different if you have that, but we want it to be as close to September.
Yeah, having to be sequential. Yeah.
But exactly, have them all. It's one sales and marketing campaign is what I think we should do, because it's just such a lift and it's kind of weird to have one and then another one in the middle of the one.
Yeah.
So we will unfortunately have to finish Teller and hold Teller for a while. And then we'll start, I would guess, September-ish, the sales and marketing campaign.
That's great.
So there'll still be plants and they'll still be live and there'll still be great photos, and then we'll have everything else that goes on towards the end of the year.
Okay. Anything else from anybody on the phone? Thank you, Kyle. Thank you, Mike. The budgets are proceeding well. 46 grand. Kyle, back to you.
Cool. Just some high-level pre-development updates. Happy to announce that we have signed contracts with both civil engineering firms and our architecture firm. Working with Brainier and Larios on civil engineering, and Copa, who we discussed for architecture. And we've started meeting with both of them and doing some initial site analyses. We had a kickoff call with Copa the other day and excited to get something regular going with them. But we are rapidly working through these projects and trying to get them as far along as possible, as quick as we can. Mike shared some exciting drone footage, I believe was sent around with the board package email, showing our views from 3 and 4 stories, if you're curious to take a look. But yeah, those are kind of the high level overviews.
Be very dizzy.
I don't know how to fly a drone in my defense. And so my father, we purchased a drone for him for, I believe, his 70th birthday. And then I visited with him years later, and I noticed there's a sport mode on the drone. He said, no. I said, this is not a toy, this is a tool. And so it only goes up and down and left and right. So I went up and down and left and right, but I pressed right too fast at this time.
Oh, I see it.
This is my old man's drone, and they were in town for the weekend.
I see that.
Yeah,
He travels with it.
he did in this instance. He did.
Type drone.
He went up in the park by our house. I went up. He's never gone up this house this high. Apparently, it regulates how high you can go based on where you are, based on GPS coordinates. So, like in Manhattan, you probably can't. It won't take off. But I went up about 400 feet, and you can see it's beautiful. They're pretty amazing tools, and it really does help us to see. What we had heard during the RFP process was a rumor that if you went up 3 stories, you could see the mountains. So you can see the mountains.
Yes.
Was hopefully the takeaway, at least that I got from it, which is great. So
Cool.
to be continued. It'll take a lot to fill that space with a building. It's a lot easier to fly a drone up there, but we're working.
Well, I look forward to the stuff there.
Totally.
That's cool. Thank you, Kyle. That's great. I think that's it for ADC. Finance and audit. There was a meeting. I hear.
There was a meeting, that's great, I was there. Okay, yeah, so right now we're in a really strong financial position, thanks as always to Stacy's incredible work. We have good liquidity right now, which is great. You'll see in some of the reports that Stacy shared, we do have some accounts receivable. That's an LBI requisition that went out in May and got reimbursed in June. So that's why it's an account receivable for May. We also have some accounts payable in May. Those were mostly invoices to Manita, as well as some other bits and bobs, insurance, things like that. There's a lot of CD activity happening. We have a lot of interest coming in, which is great. Means they're doing their job. And we have 2 CDs that will mature in July. So Stacy and Mike are looking at the rates from Rondout and from M&T to make a decision about how to reinvest that money. And there are a few CDs that pay us every month and then some that pay us in a big lump sum when it matures. So we'll also see some like bigger amounts in that investment income coming in July, which will be fun. Let's see. There is a negative number in our property costs. That's a refund from the city for a permit that Mike filed and that we didn't need to bring water down the cellar. It was a $700 permit. On the audit front, we're so close. We have a draft from the auditor and Stacy and Mike are working with them to finalize that draft. And so we should have that final audit soon. And that's news.
Discussion? Any additional supplementary information?
Perfect.
Well done.
Thank you.
Any comments, questions about financial? No. Then, if that's the case, I will entertain a motion to accept the treasurer's report.
Motion to accept the treasurer's report. Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. All right, we are unanimous.
Aye.
Is there additional discussion on the audit for today, or was that it for today? Great. Just vote something.
Yeah.
So I think planning discussion about external events, communication, volunteer landscaping. I think this is Rebecca.
I would actually be Barbara,
Barbara.
and she's out.
Yes.
I'm happy to run through. She had sent some notes.
Yeah, please.
Unless, Paul, the 2 of you wanted to take it, I don't mean to step on committee members' opportunity to participate.
Go ahead. It's fine for you to say what she wrote in her email. Yeah.
So, Barbara's note says there are 3 items here she would like to cover in this meeting. The prior family survey, so she circulated an updated version of that for comment by the committee. The volunteer program, she says an August or September date would be ideal, but unless someone else from the committee can run with it, she has some scheduling conflicts. So she was asking for some thoughts from the committee on how to proceed with that, but it is still a discussion point amongst the committee, how that's going to go. And she's working towards a Instagram post this week and was asking for some ideas for copy. And I made that post-it note to go over and take a photo of Teller so you can see it being set and you can see it today. So cool. Yeah. That was it from that comp site.
Do you have a picture of it like being driven in?
There's a photo of it being set.
Okay.
Yeah, it's really cool. Everybody always watches the corners because they have to make sure the building. So.
Thank you, Barbara, if you're watching this later on. Governance.
Didn't need.
What? Yeah, I guess I need to know.
I was just going to say there was the fundraising side. I didn't
Oh, sorry.
take anything.
No, please.
Oh, I think the only thing is just the we had a potential opportunity to get funding through discretionary from Sarah Hona, and we believe that her discretionary funds were cut in the current budget. So we won't see those funds. Try again next year. So 1 year, it's gonna be our year.
Is that a rumor, or do we actually know if that happened?
It's a rumor.
It's a rumor.
I haven't read the budget.
Yes.
It's in there, I assume. I don't know. It's in-
Okay. On the government side of things, just note that we do have some openings for board members, and I will, which I've not done today, kind of, some concerned about which lower positions I might kind of be able to work for people's house, or et cetera, et cetera. Great, design. Now it's Rebecca, I'll meet Paul. The design team. on
You
Zoom.
talk about landscaping, are we, is that what I heard? Or
The landscape and design process, yes.
yes is the answer to that question? It's hard to hear you guys over here, so
Oh, sorry.
especially when you all talk at once, it's very boisterous and but anyway, landscaping is proceeding apace, and I think we're hoping to have a presentation this week. I am sensitive, and I'm sure that Mike and everyone else is sensitive to the desire to have something looking nice when we sell the houses, which I think is a good idea, will make a huge difference to the perception of the houses. So I think it's wise for us to wait. We did confirm the fence line, though, as far as I know, Mike, even though you're very small on my screen, that we don't have an idea of what the fencing is, but we know where it goes, right? And we've also poured a path, that's correct, right? To the front door. So we're proceeding in good form. And I think it's an exciting relationship. It'll just take us a little while to get going. So and we have a board member who I don't think is here, who has a strong access to Bluestone. And so hopefully we'll be able to create are you here? I can't see any of you. You might straight quickly. Huh?
I'll say we don't need transportation. We got a truck today.
That's great.
Lisa Nealon's here.
So I'm sorry if I misrepresented anything. So anyway, so we have Bluestone, and if we have a truck, we have more Bluestone, and that will be lovely. And Mike and I both learned a lot about sidewalks. I'm not sure that we need to talk about that right now, but it was an interesting knowledge that I'm sure will come up at some other time. So how's that sound, Mike? Is that about it?
Great, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. And once again, you're very, very small. It's like, do you remember that thing? Like, it's hard to see you. So thank you.
Thanks, Rebecca. We're very small, you're very large on our big screen. And with that, I think we're to the end of the committees, so public will have another public comments. See no members of the public. New business. So the only item of new business that's actually on the agenda is a journey to not holding a August board meeting, which we have done in prior years. We'll have July board meetings, we'll meet once more. But unless there is a pressing reason to meet in August, I think our prediction is to adjourn and give everyone a month off. People will travel and have children and people are on vacation, that kind of thing. Any objection or comments or questions? Or? Staff say be here. So in that case, we'll have a vote to not meet in August. With a motion to not hold a board meeting in August.
Hi, I just want to say that I think we will be making decisions about, I mean, I don't know, but I think there will be decisions about landscaping maybe in August if we want to be planted in together in September. So I don't have any trouble. I'm glad to be working if I'm here, but Aaron, is that a problem with whatever the board meeting or whatever?
I mean, we have the budget for it, so I don't think us even emailing or having events or whatever it is, would get in the way, like, we can do stuff in August, we just wouldn't meet and vote, so I think it'd be okay, because there'd be nothing we need to vote on, I don't think.
Okay, great. I just wanted to make sure we didn't get slowed down. Thanks.
Yeah, of course, no, and if something does arise, we'll, call an emergency virtual meeting. But hopefully it doesn't, and we can kind of continue working in the background in our various capacities.
And Rebecca, I will be in town as well in August. So if there's any design stuff, I'm here.
Oh, great. That'll be wonderful. That'd be fun. Thanks. It'll be nice and hot. It'll be fun. So.
Great, yes.
Motion to not have our board meeting in August of 2026.
Seconded.
All in favor? And with that, we will not have a board meeting in August. Now, any other new business? And I will say, well, we're making a record, not month after month now with fast board meetings. We're gonna have to, that's gonna go long one again soon. It'll be a motion to adjourn. So next meeting.
Motion to adjourn.
But there'll be so many of you. All in favor? All right, thank you all. Have a wonderful week and
Bye, guys.
weekend.